I've been to a couple yoga classes where the old ladies just do not care. And I'm
old
sorry.
lady fart just stink.
Oh yeah, those have been ruminating for years,
And
for decades.
Here's what
a different
bothers
kind
me.
of tinge. It's a Tuesday edition here on Zero Blog 30, and today we have 4 rounds in the magazine. Round number 1, we're tanning our testicles now. Round number 2, to the battalion XOs out there, be advised, throwing a working party at work or a birthday party at work could end up costing you $450,000, like it did for one company. Round number 3, update the safety brief. Ladies, if you got a fart, let it rip. Otherwise, you'll be taking a trip to see the corpsman. And round number 4, Russia had a big ship sank this week, but so did we. And in Buffalo, New York, of all places, we're going to get to the bottom of that, even if it's at the bottom of the sea. And all of that's going to be brought to you by our good friends at Whistle Pig. They have the barrel-aged craft cocktails in a can. It's so much better than a seltzer. It's starting to heat up outside. We have a full slate of 15-day forecasts, I believe, in San Antonio, all of which are over 92 degrees. Not great, but it will be great when I have that ABV of 8% sitting in my hand while I'm sitting in my pool. It'll be a lovely, lovely little Whistle Pig family farm treat that has been aged in some barrel-aged cocktail. I'm a big whiskey guy. I love their piggyback whiskey that they have. It's the most affordable option that they have, and it's fantastic. You should try it and try out the 3 flavors that are fresh ginger lime, blackberry lemon fizz, Cessus citrus mint, and you could do all that by using the code ZBT22 to receive 10% off at your order at cans.whistlepig.com. All right, let's get going with the actual show. How was everybody's weekend? Cons, how was your weekend?
Oh, fantastic. Spent it driving to and from Pennsylvania and then spending Easter with my family, but overall a family-filled weekend.
I feel like clothing-wise, this is your peak weekend.
This was
your
my
big
Super
pastels,
Bowl.
Big khakis.
Yes, I had green, like a light green pair of pants, striped shirt with a purple quarter zip yesterday. And actually this vest I'm wearing right now over that. So it was just,
perfect.
Between the vineyard vines
season.
and the colors, it was just fantastic.
And I think Cons and I had a moment over the weekend because I do bust his balls quite often. And I was scrolling through the old Instagram and I came across one of his pictures that his lovely wife, Alex, had posted.
Yeah.
And it was of Con sitting in the driver's seat of a new to him car. It's an antique car. Cons, tell us about your fancy boy car that you got.
Yeah. I wasn't
sure that was real.
Yeah, no, it's real. This is right in line with, officers. My father-in-law is gifting me his 1968 Austin Healey 3000. And by no means have I ever been like a car guy, but I've always appreciated, like, if I see a nice car and I'm like, oh, that's really nice. So when he said, like, I don't really drive it much anymore.
I don't think any of the listeners on this show were under the impression that you were getting underneath there and changing out alternators and shit.
No, certainly not. Certainly not. So when he texted me and Alex, he's like, hey, do you want it? And I jumped right at that because it's a cool car. And she's a big fan of Father of the Bride. So anybody who's watched Father of the Bride knows George Banks drives an Austin Healey.
Yeah.
So it's a cool car. It would be cool to have to drive down the shore in the summers. It's not exactly
enough truck space for your new TaylorMade clubs.
Oh my gosh. Those all my clubs came in. Hold on. I mean, here's my brand new Stealth right here. Mm-hmm. Just showed up. Stupid background. But anyway, here, yeah, I'm very excited. I have all my brand new clubs. There's enough room for my clubs. So things are working out.
Good move for you. Right, Kate, how was your weekend?
It was really good. It was just me and the little fella, and we just went all over the place. I got this hiking backpack that I put him in, and he loves riding around on my back in the apartment. So I try and make it seem like, oh, you're getting a piggyback ride, sort of. So he actually likes going in it. We did 3 miles in New York City yesterday. I went to New York City with the baby with no stroller, just hoping that I could take him. So I walked from MSG all the way up to St. Patrick's Cathedral to the bonnet parade, so he could see all the fun hats, all the different little hats, and then back down to the office from there. So we went over 3 miles in the city. Day before
very
that,
nice of Nick to drive the safety brief while you guys are doing, or safety vehicle while you guys are doing that.
That was very nice. And then I went to, on Saturday, just a great swamp in the middle of New Jersey, a wildlife refuge that just ducks. We're big into ducks right now. So just went hiking all over the place. And my dream, once this guy's at college or welding school or wherever he goes, is I'm gonna
How
hike.
did you land on welding school?
I don't know. I just
TikTok.
PCT.
She watches a lot of TikTok.
I've started following Pacific Crest Trail and Appalachian Trail hikers on TikTok. It is, before I die, I will hike both of those trails. It is like my number one. It has moved to the top of my dreams list, like very tippy top. I'm going to fucking do it. So I'm going to
But don't tell me that you're going to be one of those people that buries their poop. Like, because I see these folks too.
What else
and
are you going to do?
Just leave it. I mean, you're in the middle of a trail, like having to dig down 8 to 10 inches every time you go to the bathroom. I'm not doing it. I mean, there's 2 things in life that you should do when it comes to poop that I would never do. If I'm in a neighborhood, I'm not picking up my dog's poop. I don't care about it. You can pick it up.
What?
Yeah. I don't know about that. I feel like
That's
you should pick up your dog's poop no matter what.
That's fine.
Really.
I'm not. Have you seen Gus? You think I'm walking back to my house with like a 9-pound shit? No thanks. If
You're
it's in
that
somebody's
guy?
like actual yard, like in the middle of the, which I would never allow him to go in, sure. But in like the median of places and like public areas, no shot. I'm not bringing that big old turd.
No, fuck you guys. I have a toddler who runs all over the place, and
keep an eye on him, Kate. Your decision to have a child does not impact my dog shit.
But he wants to step off the sidewalk into those little grass medians, and I'm like, you can't, because fucking assholes let their dog shit all over.
Well, keep a leash on your child, Kate.
Oh,
that's all I'll say.
Oh my god, you motherfucker.
I mean, I'm not like, if just be Cash is gonna step in dog shit plenty of times. It's just good damn training.
Hey, speaking of weekends, chaps, did you make your traditional world renowned Easter nachos?
I did not. It was rainy yesterday here, unfortunately. And I actually got a new smoker.
Did your family just not eat then?
Yeah, we didn't eat. Didn't have a single thing. It was shitty. I got this new smoker that typically getting the fire started, having the smoker box like going is a pain in the ass. These geniuses that I got it from added propane to the firebox. So you just turn on the propane and that catches the actual wood on fire. Fucking so simple and genius. I bet a Lance Corporal came up with that, honestly.
Probably.
I've been watching there's that show on Netflix, The Chef's Table, which is really beautifully done. It follows all these incredible chefs and tells their life story and how they got to, because it's really fucking hard to become a top chef, like crazy hard. And there's but they do a barbecue edition now. They have the Chef's Table barbecue edition. And I was watching Snow's Barbecue somewhere in Texas.
Yes.
And she's like, we don't, down here in Texas, we don't have any secrets. Like a lot of barbecue places are like, no, that's our secret sauce and our secret rub. We'll tell you everything we do. It's just so damn difficult and so much work that we know nobody else will do it. Like,
what's her name? Like Bunny or something like that?
She had the cutest name. Tootsie,
yeah.
Oh, that's
the barbecue
awesome.
queen of Snow's.
She doesn't even use like gloves. Her hands are so leathered from cooking barbecue for so long that she just goes in there and grabs the brisket with her bare ass hands.
And wait, somehow your hands get weathered and calloused from cooking barbecue?
Oh, are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, dude.
I'm serious. I don't know.
All the time, like being around that heat definitely does it. There's a video that's going around on Instagram. I think Marcel actually posted where a dude is cooking fried chicken or something like that. He's cooking something fried, and he just goes into the bat like while it's bubbling and super hot, and just removes it like over and over again. Kind of shakes his hands off, and then goes and does it again. Yeah,
that's preposterous.
You look at a lot of these chefs that deal with open flames cooking, and so many of their hands have just gotten so used to it that it doesn't even bother them anymore.
They asked her. He's like, the interviewer's like, there's no temperature gauges on your these giant metal, like looks like kiln grills kind of. And she's like, yeah, no, she just rested her hand on top of it. She goes, I just go by feel. And you're like, holy,
that's pretty cool.
And she's this cute little old lady. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, she's probably like 5'7" and looks like everybody's Southern grandma, and has been in barbecue pits for essentially 60 years doing this. And she wakes up every day at 3 a.m. to go out there and do it.
Every barracks has that guy or gal, that one barbecue pit master for the smoke pit.
Yeah, I used to like doing that. I used to like manning the grill whenever I was there, because that usually means you don't have to clean up when everybody's done.
Yeah,
true.
Yep, that is true.
All right, let's get going with the actual rounds today. Round number 1. Tucker Carlson is making a lot of waves because did you see the video that he posted that was about like how to return to being manly, like manliness? He has like manliness classes that's coming out on some video, something shit like that.
The trailer, it's a series that he's doing. So about, how like the American male, the male is dying.
How did Tucker get picked for that?
I don't know. He's got very delicate hands.
Yes. I mean, it's unbelievable the trajectory he's taken, because he used to be just kind of like the side character who wore the bow ties and was kind of quirky and had his opinions.
On Crossfire.
Yes. And now
Crossfire. Sorry.
Great game. Those were great commercials too.
Mm-hmm.
To now where I feel like he's almost become a caricature of himself, to where you look at him and you're thinking, oh, Carl Tucker, there's no way you believe all of that. Or maybe he does. I don't know. It just seems so extreme now. Yeah.
I doubt that he believes it. But one thing that he seemingly did believe, it came out this weekend, that he believes in a little bit of testicle tanning, which is what we're going to talk about in round number 1. Kate, walk us through that, please.
All right. Tan those testes, everybody. Tan them out. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
There are, like, when I go out in the sun and I'm wearing a one-piece, I'm a one-piece bathing suit lady. On my arms and legs, they're used to the sun. And the rare occasion where I do wear a bikini, I put like SPF 90 around my torso because it never, ever sees the sun. You're like, oh my God, this is going to get roasted. Don't you worry about your penis and balls a little bit if you're a nudist?
Yeah.
I would imagine a sunburn on your penis would be fucking agony.
I think it would probably be like the balls, like whenever you burn the palm of your hand and it never heals because you constantly have to move it. I feel like that your balls are just a more tender version of your palm. Like they're constantly moving around and shifting. If you got a really bad burn on your nuts, I'm not sure if it would ever heal.
Well, it's like that lady we talked about in the show maybe a year ago, there was this movement where people were like getting up on rocks and spreading their legs and sunning their assholes. And I'm like, you don't want to burn.
Mm-mm.
You don't want to have a Taco Bell poop.
No. After
that. Anyways, so this Tucker Carlson segment, it touched on Bromeopathic medicine, which this I actually 120,000,000% believe in.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is very real.
When you're feeling sick or down, hanging out with your bros can provide a therapeutic effect, thus alleviating whatever symptoms you may have been experiencing. So this is from, what is it? Urban Dictionary.
Yeah.
Yo, man, Jeff just broke up with his girl. We should go chill over at his place for a while. He could use some Bromeopathic medicine. Now, no one would ever say that, but whatever. Before going to the hospital, always try a little Bromeopathic medicine. Best Bromeopathic activities? For me, fucking a simple catch. I have found that conversation flows with people when we're doing something like an easy activity like bocce or cornhole. Conversations that maybe I haven't seen somebody in a while are so much easier when you're doing something else. Am I crazy or is that?
No, you're right.
You're spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, the controversial.
Hold on.
Yeah.
We were told to think about some Bromeopathic medicine remedies.
Yeah. Bromeopathic activities.
I have 7 that I would like to.
Whoa.
Jesus Christ, Cons.
Because he is a bro. You are a bro.
Give Cons an inch of rope and he thinks he's a cowboy. It's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
All right, number 1, a full day of golf. And I'm not just talking about a round of golf. I'm talking you get to the clubhouse early, you have breakfast, you make your way to the range, you warm up quietly and smoothly, then you play the round of golf. Then after the round, you sit, you have some drinks at the 19th hole, maybe you have a meal, but it's not just the 4 hours of the round. I'm talking like 7-8 hour day. That's number 1. Number 2, a Sunday fun day during football season. You get to the bar at like 12:30 with your buddies, you get a table and you camp out there for the 1 o'clock and the 4 o'clock games. You go home for the 8 o'clock, but that 2 slates of games, just have at it. Number 3, day out on a boat. Doesn't matter if it's the ocean, lake, whatever, day on a boat, you're good. Number 4.
As long as nobody's trying to drive fast. I feel like that's the worst kind of people to go out with, people who don't know how to relax. Like, you got a boat, so we got to go see how fast this thing can go. Those people are the worst. Just cruise around and have a good time and sip on a beer. If I feel like I need a life jacket, you're going too fast.
I just want to wear the life jacket like a diaper and bob around in the sea. Throw me some
that's
whiskey
a good
grapes.
That's a good lake activity. Number 4, a man dinner, where you just go out to a nice classic steakhouse. You dress not like super formal, but you dress nicer than you would for going to a sports bar. And you just enjoy some good conversation over some vino and steaks with your men. Number 5, seeing a movie together. Me and Fights, we have movies that we see together, the Fast franchise, and we're also slated to see the new Top Gun that's coming out next month. This one you might clown me a little bit for, but it's an unbelievable feeling. going with your buddy to get fitted for a new suit. That's a fun activity. You're going to have to just trust me on that one. And then lastly,
That's
this is
ridiculous.
I'm telling you, it's amazing feeling.
The whole
It
squad
is.
getting measured up. Oh, you got a 34 inseam now, you'll so-and-so. Look at you.
I promise you,
wow.
picking out the fabrics.
Wow. Your traps are looking great. Look how good you look.
I'm telling you, it's a great feeling.
Take me next time, Cons, you fucking coward. When I go to New York, let's go get fitted.
You tell me when you're coming up next. I'm going to bring you to my guy. We're going to do it.
Well, I got to ask Dave. He bought me my last suit, so I feel like he should do it again.
Yeah, we can make that happen. And then lastly, and I don't know, maybe I'll get called a hardo for this one, but I don't really care. Just working out with your buddy, whether that's a run, a lift, any sort of workout along with your buddy. That's good Bromeopathic medicine. So those are my examples.
And I feel like these go across the board. Like they defy gender, really. Like
no,
I enjoy.
You can't do Bromeopathic stuff with women.
I enjoy all this Bromeopathic stuff. You know, I always resented when I was a kid growing up that I felt like boys always got to do the fun shit. Like, but I hate Girl Scouts. We'd be like knitting something and you'd see the Boy Scouts outside, like hitting shit with sticks. And I'm like, I want to do what they're doing. Fuck this. I feel like guys always like my brother.
You know, Kate, you joined the Marine Corps.
I know. I think because I was like, why do the guys have all the fun? Like my dad would ask my brother golfing, but like, it just not me. Like it wasn't a mean thing, but just like, I feel like guys always got to do the cool stuff. And
yeah, my dad used to do that. I'd piss my older sister off big time, like going fishing and stuff.
Like I want to do that shit. For the most part, I was included in all that stuff. I feel like a lot of women get left out, but like we enjoy all that stuff too. But we were talking about in the last show how lonely men are. It was the stat was like something in 1 in 5 American males right now, which is a huge number. Don't like said in a big ass survey. Like I feel like I don't have a single friend that I could call up right now. I'm so alone. So I do truly believe that like getting together with your buddies is such a hugely beneficial thing. Anyways, the controversial Fox News host. This comes to us from the Central Recorder. The controversial Fox News host has turned his attention to the male hormone testosterone in his latest Tucker Carlson original documentary. And one interviewee had a pretty nuts way to boost the chemical in men, literally. Fitness professional Andrew McGovern told Carlson, if you want to optimize and take it to another level, expose yourself to red light therapy, which is testicle tanning, the presenter asked. Mr. McGovern continued, it's testicle tanning, but it's also full body red light therapy, which has a massive amount of benefits. There's so much data that isn't being picked up. Side note, I eat a can of beets and watch TikToks for 3 hours every night, and I've never been better. There's just so much data that's not being picked up on that.
Well, I saw a urologist talking about this online after it came out, and she said there's absolutely no data whatsoever that has even that people, because imagine going to Johns Hopkins and be like, listen, you can get these red lights for like $37 on Amazon. I feel like if we just put those in our pants and light up our testicles, low T is a thing of the past. Like they're just not doing that.
Buddy, I went to redlightman.com. No free ads. Okay. This place is nothing but red lights all the time. And if you want a full body red light, which is just a thin strip with red LED lights in it, guess how much you're paying?
I mean, that's not cheap. Maybe $1,000.
Oh, just about. For a small circle that has 10 little LED red dots on it, you're paying almost $150.
Could I go out to my truck, have somebody just press on the brakes while I put my balls on the taillights?
You absolutely could. That is a free way.
You probably burn out your battery though, just holding your.
Oh, I got LEDs, buddy. They don't take hardly any battery.
But I don't know if it's because of this Tucker Carlson, but Red Light Man, no free ads. But if you guys want to sponsor me, because they also Red Lights, this website claims takes care of yeast infections, so your girl could use a couple full bodies. Anyway, just straddle this thing like a horse, and maybe I'll be back to normal. Anyway, they're sold out of these. They're sold out. Anyway, testicle tanning. It's not crazy to seek solutions. And I was recently exposed to a term called bromeopathy. And I think there's a lot of people out there right now that don't trust the mainstream information. You know what I mean? That mainstream information. The program's next guest, all summer long singer Kid Rock.
Outrageous that they put all summer long singer Kid Rock and not photograph or ball to ball.
Absolutely correct. Spoke for his reaction as he struggled to keep it together. Dude, stop. Testicle tanning? Come on, he said, giving out a light chuckle as he did so. Carlson somehow thought Kid Rock's whose real name is Robert Ritchie, was genuinely amazed by the suggestion rather than being in pure disbelief. Open your mind, Bobby. I'm starting a punk rock band and it's called Testicle Tanning, and that's the end of it, joked Richie. Replying in a high-pitched voice while laughing, Carlson tries and fails to get the musician on board with the idea.
I think you'll be massively successful.
I mean, don't you think at this point, where so many of the therapies and paths they have told us to take have turned out to be dead ends that have really hurt people, why wouldn't open-minded people seek these solutions? What are so many of the therapies and paths that we were told to go down that have been so hurtful?
It's just amazing. Like the cognitive dissonance about like treatments is just so unbelievable. Like you don't trust scientists, but some dude that comes on there and is like, put some red lights on your testicles, it'll boost your testosterone. You're like, it's worth a shot. But the actual shot that was made by the greatest scientist in the history of mankind, you're like, I'm not too sure about that. Put a red light on it. We'll see if that gets rid of it.
Yeah, but I think that's a easier pill to swallow for a lot of guys to just, expose their genitals to this red light versus maybe sitting and talking to a doctor about doing some therapy and actually getting to the root of whatever issue they might be having right now and why they feel like they're less of a man.
I bet this could work as far as placebo effect. Placebo effect is super strong.
And dude, if that works, then great.
Good for
then
you.
Keep doing it, dude. Keep doing it. And we're talking about data. Then we found a 2016 study by Brazilian and Spanish researchers that found higher temperatures lead to an increase of testicular metabolism that results in sperm damage.
Yeah, because there's a lot of warnings that came out of this. The urologists were like, oh shit, this is our time to shine.
Yeah, please don't be putting red lights on your balls. Oxidative stress is the main factor responsible for testicular damage caused by heat stress. That's why they say tight pants. You guys look great in those skinny jeans, but you're keeping your balls too close to the nest, as they say. Eggs, I guess, would be better. Anyway, the aim of the study was to evaluate lasting effects of heat stress on ejaculated sperm and immediate or long-term effects of heat stress on epididymal sperm. See, chaps, you shouldn't have gotten your vas deferens just completely destroyed. You should have done like tests like this. Like they let you wear hot pants for a week and then they see how your sperm count's doing.
Now, hear me out.
Could have made a lot of money.
So, when we go to Army and Navy, a lot of times it'll be very cold and you can get different tailgates. We'll have like ham warmers that you can go in there. What about if they made one of those chemical things that's like a sling that you could put your balls in and you just set it in there and it's like a cup that keeps your balls warm? Because if your balls are warm at the football game, there is no shot you're cold. None.
I kind of agree with that because then the heat just kind of like radiates throughout the rest of your body. So you're basically talking about maybe
it's like central heat and air.
And they do say
dick.
heat leaves the body through the balls.
It really does.
That's really where
especially
it all
if you shave with our good friends at whoever the razor sponsor is.
Yeah.
Right. Well, no, so anyway,
Chaps is looking for an activated jock strap, I think.
This website, there are actually a couple things that scientists do believe red light is helpful with, but there's so much stuff that especially places that sell red light say it helps with. Like this website says it helps with develop your muscles, helps with arthritis, helps with weight loss. All you have to do to lose weight, stand in front of this red light. Fertility and conception is a huge one. Again, they say put this red light on your balls right before you have sex and you're going to be more virile. Hold on a second,
Daddy breaks out the red light. Oh, yeah, Mama's about to catch a load.
I picture myself being with somebody who's like, hold on, let me hold this red light to my, and it sucks because again, like people are.
But it is kind of cool. Like if you, like, let's say you take your partner and you just pull their ball skin out, like you're about to tan some leather, right? And you have the red light behind it. It would kind of look like one of those baby shark eggs where you could see like the shark swimming around inside the egg
do a puppet
still.
Show on the other side of it,
or like that video where a dude basically melted the inside of his toe where all the nerve and muscle went away and it was just the bone moving around in there. I feel like you could see what's going on with the testicle.
And if there was a couple neat veins in there, I mean, there could be all sorts of interesting things going on. So that, okay, I kind of get yeast infections, as I may have mentioned already, which there's zero science that whatever. Erectile dysfunction. I don't know how that would work. Hypothyroidism, male fertility hormones, eye light therapy, hair loss, collagen, acne. So do you know how this red light idea came about?
No.
probably by accident somehow.
There is real science. There is real science behind it. But again, it's being used for all sorts. In the early 1990s, RLT, red light therapy, was used by scientists to help grow plants in outer space. The scientists found that the intense light from the red light emitting diodes, LEDs, helped promote growth and photosynthesis of plant cells. So people are like, oh shit, it's actually working on those plant, like, so why wouldn't it work on our human cells? Red light is thought to work in humans by producing a biochemical effect in, I'll give you a clue, it's the powerhouse of the cell.
Mitochondria, never forget it.
Yes, if there's one thing we all remember. And so the idea is that it creates more ATP, the energy in the mitochondria, to refresh things faster. So if a cell can repair itself faster, buddy, you're going to be glowing. Your balls are going to be crushing it. That's the idea behind it. And obviously it's different than like laser or other stuff that affects the skin. This just goes down, doesn't cause any damage to the outer layer. It just goes like right beneath the skin surface, but very little proof of anything. I checked WebMD. I checked like all the actual scientific websites, and all of them said there's no actual proven thing. Though doctors and stuff really do use it for certain like very specific stuff, but they say like, come to us and use it. Don't do it on your own, because you could end up burning yourself a little bit. So I don't know if you want to buy your own red light and put your balls next to it.
Just another example in the long line of things that men will do instead of going to therapy, which we're here to help you with because we have our friends at BetterHelp. People don't always realize the physical symptoms like headache, teeth grinding, and even digestive issues can be indicators of stress. And let's not forget about doom scrolling, sleeping too late, sleeping too much, under eating and overeating. Stress shows up in all kinds of ways in a world that is telling you to do more, sleep less, and grind all the time. Here's your little reminder to take care of yourself, do less, and maybe try some therapy. We've all done therapy through BetterHelp. It's fantastic. Whether you want to do family therapy, individual, couple therapy, anything that you want to do, they basically have a way to do it. And they have a way to do it through the phone, through online chats, through video, through just a regular phone call. BetterHelp is an online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions for your therapist. So you don't have to see anyone else on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy. And you could be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Give it a try and see why over 2 million people have used BetterHelp online therapy. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/0. That's BETTERHELP.com/0. Let's move on to round number 2 and head over to the bluegrass state of Kentucky. What's going on in Kentucky? Also, quick Kentucky quiz. Do you guys know why bourbon is better from Kentucky? Do you know the reason?
The trees.
My only guess is the poop from all the horses in Kentucky.
No, wait. Water from the Smoky Mountains.
Closer. It's because of limestone. The water is filtered through natural limestone in Kentucky, and that's the reason why it tastes better, because it's from there. And actually, they found the same type of limestone here in San Antonio, and there's a distillery called the Alamo, which is very similar to Kentucky style bourbon.
Who knew? Did not know that. I would love to do that.
love if our pals, and I maybe this is happening, but I can't wait till we get to go to Whistle Pig and learn all about whiskey and things of that nature, because I'm quite a novice. Not even really a novice. I wouldn't even say I'm a novice. I know basically nothing when it comes to that type of alcohol. So I'm interested to learn.
I know if I'm throwing a party, I'm having some of that there. But worst question before we get into this, because it's about a birthday party. I know, Chaps, your birthday always sucked because it was in a car going to Florida every year, right? It was like your parents like, here's a present, road trip kind of thing.
Throw me a fucking Where Was Waldo book and a box of cosmic brownies, and we'd stop at Cracker Barrel for breakfast. And that's it.
And why was that?
Shout out to my mom who got me a box of cosmic brownies for Easter yesterday.
Oh, that's nice.
Love it.
It was because my birthday is July 26th, so we would always take our family vacations around my birthday time. And so we would drive from Maryland to Florida, and typically it would be on my birthday. And they'd be like, there's nothing we can do. There's literally everything you can do.
Yeah, you could throw a party earlier.
Just start the vacation on a different day, a day before or day after. Any of those things would have worked. Linda, don't even text me some fucking reasons why. I don't even want to hear it. Linda, I don't want to hear it. You ruined my birthday by making me go to Cracker Barrel.
Linda, listen, Linda.
I feel like I'm normally the one with sob stories celebrating Christmas like 10 months early. My parents would go all out for my birthday. My dad would always do something goofy, like he'd pick me up at the school bus on the tractor, which blew when you're in like third grade. You're like, oh, sorry, guys, got to go. My dad's here on the tractor. Okay.
This son of a bitch, he snapped on this one.
Yeah. Or he was bald. So he'd get happy birthday written on top of his head. And I'd be like, everyone, look how goofy my dad is. Like, you're in second grade. That's sick. That's
He'd
awesome.
write happy birthday and be like, here you go, Katie. I'm about to go play catch with your brother.
Yeah, he mowed it into the lawn one time. And so I was like, everybody come up to the second floor. Look what my dad did on my birthday. Like, he'd always do something goofy. My mom always went out all out in the cake or whatever. And I always would have like all the girls over, and we'd go to Kmart, and I would get party favors for everyone, like bucket hats and lip smackers and all that shit. The 90s. Anyways, so I had pretty good. And I'm waiting for my surprise. Like, I'm waiting for my big surprise party, guys.
I know. It's my 40th this year, Kate, and nobody said boo about it.
Uh-oh. Oh, I haven't gotten any invites or anything from your wife. So spoiler alert, you're not having one.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, a Kentucky man took his employer to court after they threw him a birthday party he did not want, and the jurors sided with him. Now the employer owes him $4,500,000.
$4,500,000. That's right.
$4,500,000. Jesus Christ. $4,500,000.
Are you serious right now?
$450,000.
$450,000. God damn it. The verdict was handed down this week in Kenton County Circuit Court.
Like before, when we've talked about barstool contracts and stuff, I've been like, we probably don't really need an agent. I feel like you might, like just for the
Kate doesn't need an agent. Kate needs a third grade math teacher.
Yeah, I need something. But the verdict was handed down this week in Kenton County in northern Kentucky. The plaintiff, an employee of Gravity Diagnostics, sued his employer after he was fired following a birthday party they threw for him in August. According to court documents, the employee had notified the office manager that birthday parties trigger his anxiety disorder and that being the center of attention will cause him to have a panic attack.
I feel like there's not a lot of times where I think the HR is super valuable in a lot of ways. This is one. Like if you have to tell your employer that your anxiety is so bad for birthdays, imagine how bad your anxiety has to be surrounded birthdays to admit that aloud and in writing that you don't want that. Like it has to be how embarrassing it is to write that message. First of all, like people don't want to admit what they have super bad anxiety about,
because that comes with a lot of questions. Like my mind's wondering now, like what happened to you on your birthday when you
and people always view you as like a little bitch. Like if you have anxiety about I think so. I think that's what goes having
through anxiety
brain.
about
because
like
you're lying if you don't think by the water cooler people are like, oh, did you hear about Dennis? He doesn't want to have a birthday. He gets anxiety about birthdays.
Yes,
like, people are going to talk shit.
I absolutely agree with you that people will talk about that person, but I also think it's perfectly normal not to like being the center of attention.
Yeah.
Like flashback to last month getting married, Alex was like chirping in my ear, can we end this now? Like we were doing our first dance and she's like, can we end this? Like people are staring. And I said, that's what they're going to do. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I understand that part of it.
People hate being the center of attention. So this guy, so much anxiety about it. He literally told work, please, no birthday, no parties for me, nothing. I hate being.
You just got to abide by that if somebody asks that.
Right. And it's like for me, if I'm the manager, I'm like, thank God that's one less thing I have to do this week. Anyways, the employee asked the office manager days before his birthday in August to not arrange a birthday celebration as they did for other employees. He's like, hey, I've seen what you've been doing for Linda and Deb and all them. I don't want it. Please don't do this.
This is absolutely Michael Scott doing a party for like Phyllis.
And the thing would be like, I'll show them they really do love parties by throwing them the best party ever.
Huge Michael Scott vibes here.
Then on August 7th, the employee's birthday, the office arranged for a lunchtime party in the lunchroom, according to the lawsuit. The employee said that he found out about the party as he was headed to his lunch break, which triggered a panic attack. What? The incident.
It's just so ridiculous.
This is like an
They're
episode
gonna
of
sing
The
happy
Office.
birthday.
The incident caused the employee to leave the office suddenly and spend his lunch break in his car. The employee sent a text message to the office manager asking why she failed to accommodate his request to not have a party.
Why would you do this to me?
Like, why? I told you. But
why would you be kind?
The next day, I can see, and I would be like, okay, I'm sorry, and I would let it die there. But the manager then takes it to another level.
See, this is the Michael Scott vibe here.
Yeah. The next day, the employee was called into a meeting in which he said that he was confronted and criticized by the office manager about his reaction to the birthday party. That meeting then triggered another panic attack, and the employee,
You shouldn't be laughing, but this is ridiculous.
I know, asked the office manager to stop, according to the lawsuit. The employee was then sent home for the next 2 days. And that weekend, he was notified that he was being fired.
Oh my God.
Literally wheezing into a paper bag. And he's like, you know what? You get out. Like, you ungrateful fuck. Get out of here.
They were sent
Go home
for
for 2 days.
And then that weekend, he was notified he was being fired because of the events of the previous week.
That's ridiculous.
The employee sued Gravity Diagnostics on the grounds of disability discrimination and retaliation. According to the lawsuit, the employee said because Gravity Diagnostics didn't accommodate his anxiety disorder, the birthday party and events afterwards caused him to suffer from loss of income and benefits and emotional distress and mental anxiety. The jury sided with the employee, agreeing that Gravity Diagnostics violated Kentucky law that protects workers who have a disability from adverse employment actions. In total, the jury awarded the employee $450,000 in damages. Of that amount, $300,000 was for emotional distress, while $150,000 was for lost wages. I mean,
listen, this story just makes me think I missed the boat. I could have complained about so many things at jobs over the course of my career that I could have made out like a bandit. Seriously.
I mean, some company that you don't really care about, like, and you get to sue them, and like those McDonald's employees that will sue for like burning themselves on coffee or some shit like that. Just absolutely brilliant way to get through life. I think it's fantastic, but the jury had no choice. I mean, once the guy says in writing, I have really bad anxiety, don't throw me a birthday party. And then they say, we're going to throw you a birthday party. And then they fired him because he didn't like the birthday party. And he had an anxiety attack like he said he would. And he did it twice. I mean, really, the jury probably fucked the guy by only giving him $300,000 for emotional distress, because you can't see anybody else that you work with there. You got to move towns. Like, if I'm that guy's attorney, I'm saying this dude's got to get out of Dodge. He's got to go into witness protection. You can't walk around town being the fella who was so repulsed by the idea of having a birthday party that you literally shit your pants in the corner by the fake plants.
He's got to change industries, because his reputation will precede him anywhere now.
You know, those people who they fake an injury at work and then like a PI follows them around and sees them jet skiing and stuff. And they're like, ha, got you. You lose all your money. They better not catch this guy at a birthday party the rest of his life.
Well, maybe he can go to birthday parties, just not have one.
Right. It can't be for him.
If I was him, I wouldn't be dipping my toe
But
in the
imagine
party
he's
pond.
at Chuck E. Cheese in 3 years from now, and you walk in and he's in there dancing with the animatronic mouse, a Chester E. Cheese, and you're like, ho, ho, ho. Gotcha, bitch. Give me the money back.
Drunk doing karaoke or something where he's the center of attention. I mean, I'm just saying they better be careful the rest of their lives. Stripping, that could be. Just saying.
Yep. All right, let's move on to round number 3. What do we got for round 3?
This resonates with me so deeply. This comes to us from Newsweek. I'll say it. If I hold in a fart, I feel physically ill. Like, I feel like I start to get sweaty and hot and gross. And there's certain clothes, like high-waisted Empire dresses that are tight, like higher up. I know not to wear them. I call them fart dams. Whenever I wear them, it's like they hit a certain spot.
Yeah, you wear them to DC all the time. And we appreciate it.
I wear them to DC, and I'm always like, oh, I got a fart dam. I'm going to die. And I got to go into like the congressional bathroom and be like, excuse me, everyone. But yes, it's a nightmare. So this woman, I'll get into the story. Some would call it one woman's lack of flatulence around her partner a gas, but ultimately it led to an emergency hospital visit. Irish barista Kara Clark, age 19, reportedly had to get her appendix removed in the past week after 2 full years of holding in farts around her boyfriend, Kyle Duffy, age 21. This guy must be hot shit if he's worth 2 years of holding in farts. Clark posted a TikTok video on March 29th of her account that has been viewed 2.2 million times. She told the Nottingham Post that she developed extreme stomach pain while at work last Tuesday and immediately went to the hospital. The Louth native said she discovered she had an infection that required the removal of the appendix before it burst, all seemingly because she wouldn't fart in front of Duffy, who was dying laughing at the reasoning for the surgery.
I feel like we need an actual doctor. Is this possible? Like not farting can give you appendicitis? How?
That makes sense. Yeah, because you're just not expelling gases that are just then being cooped up.
But wouldn't you think that it's kind of like whenever you're blowing into a balloon. Eventually the balloon gets so big it's either going to pop or the air is going to come out the other side. Like, I don't feel like your butthole is that strong of an O-ring where it's going to keep 2 years of gas. I mean, does she never go home? How long are we talking about? Like weeks at a time? Like, eventually goes to the bathroom by herself and she has to make the bowl absolutely sing like it's Luciano Pavarotti or something. Like it's got to be coming out of her butthole with a beautiful, beautiful pitch, like a tenor.
Oh, that's it. Physically will back up and explode. I'll get to that in a minute. I do hold in my farts, but I didn't think I would be going to the hospital over it. She said, I'm pretty easygoing other than burps and farts. I was in so much pain. I couldn't hold my tears. My doctor said to me, I'm so sorry you're in so much pain. I was limping and walking hunched over. I can't believe she didn't float away. At hospital, I started blaming my boyfriend because I do always hold in my farts around him.
That is gassy. I mean, if you're so gassy and you're hunched over, like walking through like an old man, and you just let it rip. Just go outside. Turn the Ring camera off and just go outside.
I love those Ring camera videos.
The best.
Where it's like, this is my son-in-law, like the first time he met our family, sneaking outside at Christmas time to rip a fart, and he didn't know he had a Ring camera, and it's some poor guy just like ripping ass outside.
Do you think that's worse? I feel like it's basically two things. One, it's either one of the most polite things that you could do, like where you know that you had to fart and you've held it in so you could, and you waited till you could go outside and then you came back in and you didn't act immature about it. But two, I feel like you got to know that that's not a family you want to be in long term. Connor's ripping ass in front of his father-in-law all the time. His wife texted me about it this weekend.
Yep.
She said that they were having a lovely conversation. Her dad was talking about giving him this nice car that we talked about at the top of the show. Next thing you know, Connor fills everybody's nostrils with gas.
They were SPDs. We were outside. I felt like I was in the right. It was okay. But I was going to ask, at what point into a relationship are you comfortable doing that in front of your significant other?
Can I tell you something? Annalise has never farted in front of me in 12 years of marriage.
I cannot imagine how that's even possible.
I don't know how it's possible either, but it's a stone cold fact. And you know, I wouldn't say it if it wasn't. It is remarkable. I don't know how. Like, I don't know what. I just don't know.
If tomorrow she walked into that room and was like, it's time, and just ripped a huge wet fart.
I mean, I've seen her give birth. I'm not walking away. Like, this is, we've been together she's the love of my life. Like, without question, I love her more than any other being that's ever walked this earth. She is fantastic. If she farted today, I would love her just the same. She just won't do it.
She won't do it. I have recently, after Pat saw me give birth, then I'm like, all right, fuck it. The gig is up. I shit myself. So let's fucking go. Anyway,
I feel like it's like 2-3 months tops before it's okay.
Yeah. Anyways, I like that she said her boyfriend.
So, I'm sorry, to Chaps's point, if you're with someone who's gonna like really like leave you over that, then they're not the right person for you.
I don't know. I feel like some of your farts are worth it. I feel like if Alex texted me like in 6 months and she was like, you know, I really gave it my best shot, but he's just disgusting, I would be like,
we understand.
My allegiance ultimately is with Connor. It was nice knowing you, Alex, but we all understand.
Yeah, we get it. She says of her boyfriend, he said, God, people are going to think you're afraid of everything with me. Like, I get his point of view being like, I bet the doctors think I'm like some abusive asshole that you're holding in your part.
I'd look, if I was this doctor, I'd be like, what's your fucking problem, dude? Grow up, let her fart, man. She's in the hospital.
Yeah.
Or her dad. I want to know what her dad has to say.
I know. And this got over 2,700 comments. Many of women like Clark who do the same. Others said they let loose around their male partners without a care. One user said simply, new fear unlocked. Almost 5 years together and that man has never heard me fart. One commenter commented, I would never make that sacrifice for a man. Another said, tell him, girl. I've held them in all my life around everyone, one woman commented. None of my friends and family have witnessed me letting one rip since I was a baby.
Not true. Absolutely not true. Your family, come on, when you're growing up. I will say McCartney gets deeply offended if McCartney never cries. The other day they were coming into, so Annalise is in the shower and I'm laying on bed watching the end of the golf tournament. And McCartney comes in, is pretty freshly showered, has like an end of the night snack with like a yogurt parfait, and is about to sit down in one of our chairs and eat it while we watch The Simpsons together on Sunday night. And while McCartney's coming down the stairs, I hear him. I let one absolutely rip. And McCartney had the yogurt was already in our room sitting on our dresser, and they had to go upstairs to get like a drink. And McCartney comes in and goes, "Dad, was that a fart?" And I was like, "Yeah, it was. I farted." And they're like, "With my yogurt in the room?" I was like, "Yeah," legitimately started crying. Like,
nice little marinade. Wow.
Like, why would you do that? That's so gross. Now I don't even, and they go in, throw the yogurt away. Like, I can't eat. I'm disgusted. McCartney has always been so over the top, grossed out by farts. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, when you think about it, it is literally air from your poop hole. And if you smell a fart, you're breathing in someo's poop hole air.
And yogurt is so porous.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's just sucking it all in.
Yeah,
Think
that's
about it.
poop yogurt. Yeah.
Anyway,
unfortunate.
Somebody said, I've held them in all my life. And listen, whether you like it or not, even the hottest gal is farting in her sleep. I'm just saying. You can be laying next to whoever. You're farting in your sleep. Somebody's going to do
You shit with that ass?
Yeah, the appendix is a thin tube connected to the large intestine and is located in the lower right part of the stomach. Johns Hopkins says appendicitis is a medical emergency due to the possibility of the organ bursting. It can be caused by viral infections, bacteria, or parasites in your digestive tracts.
Blah, blah, blah. That's enough.
Or when the appendix is blocked or trapped by stool, or if the tube connecting them is blocked or trapped by stool. And it sounds like hers was blocked by gas. Like she was so bloated that her appendix got fucked up. Like it could be possible, I guess.
But this is also a wonderful excuse for the remainder of her natural life. She's in her early 20s, has already been fart shamed, appendix shamed. Now she can let loose and be like, look, it's a medical condition.
It's life-threatening. It's life-threatening. Well, I did a little research myself. There is a group called Farting People. It's private. It's got over 4,000 members on Facebook, but it's for people who are like, we're not hiding it. We're farting in public wherever we want. We're just going to fart everywhere. I've been to a couple yoga classes where the old ladies just do not care. And I'm sorry.
Old lady fart just stink.
Oh yeah, those have been ruminating for years, for decades.
Here's what
it's a different kind of tinge.
It's that they don't laugh. Go ahead and be free. You earned the right. You're old now, but at least laugh a little. It's funny.
Well, they also come from a different generation where that was uncouth, and they probably don't find it as funny as we do.
Can I ask you guys a question? And just for scientific purposes. So like old ladies, whenever they're doing this, a lot of times I feel old women are really the king and queens of SBDs. Like they crush SBDs.
Because we have to be, because the patriarchy, man.
True. Do you think they like pull their butt cheek a little bit to the side? Did you guys ever do that? Like
that
when you
makes it silent.
Yeah, but it could go either way. It could either be a silent or you could have one that sounds like a Nerf whistle ball.
Right. That's true.
That's true.
You're a liar if you're saying you haven't pulled a little cheek in public.
Oh yeah. You're on the hard subway seats, buddy. That thing will bark like a German Shepherd if you're sitting on those chairs.
My dad always says this too. Did somebody step on a duck?
Or a frog, yeah.
That? Somebody stepped on a duck. Or, oh my God, you must be barking spiders over here. There must be some barking spiders. My favorite place to fart, speaking of subway, is when the subway train goes by. It's so loud that you can just fart with reckless abandon, and the wind from the train carries your fart away, so you're not stuck with it. Anyways, here's some foods that can cause the smelliest gas. Asparagus, beans, cabbage, coffee, dairy, eggs, onions, prunes. Cons, I'm assuming you eat all those things every day. Humans fart. You fart between 13 to 21 times a day.
That feels high.
Every single one of us. Will you fart in your sleep? You don't know it. Farts can travel at about 10 feet per second or about 6.8 miles an hour.
That's a pretty slow fart, honestly. Like that fart, based on that speed, the fart doesn't even pass the PFT.
Well, have you seen those cameras?
It really doesn't. If we're talking about per hour, so let's say 6.8 miles. So you divide that by 3.4. And then that's 30 minutes. So it might barely skim by because 28 3-minute mile is passing. So it would barely pass for the male PFT, and a fart could pass the women's PFT.
So if you're a staff NCO, start using that. My fart could run this faster than you, Lance Corporal.
It's true.
That is true. The loudest, this one blew me away. The loudest fart ever recorded occurred in 1972, and it was clocked in at an astounding listen to this, 194 decibels for 1/3 of a second.
That cannot be right. So to put that into context, Arrowhead Stadium for Kansas City clocked in at like 134 whenever they broke the record for stadiums.
A train whistle is 90 decibels, a jackhammer 95, a snowmobile 100 decibels. Pain begins at 125. A jet engine is 140. Loudest sound possible 194. This fart was clocked in as being the loudest. Immediately, I guess whatever was right next to the butt and whatever. I don't know.
There's no way.
I'm telling you, it's on the internet.
I mean, imagine being the person that farted 194 decibels. Like your asshole would be absolute leather whenever it's done. It would just be so strong.
And finally, the oldest joke ever recorded in the history of the world that we still have today, it's like chiseled in stone. It's the oldest joke ever found, is from the Sumerians, and it's from the 1900 BC. And this is from Reuters, so you know it's legit. The world's oldest recorded joke has been traced back to 1900 BC and suggests toilet humor was as popular with the ancients as it is today. It is a saying of the Sumerians who lived in what is now southern Iraq, and it goes, "Something which has never occurred since time immemorial, a young woman did not fart in her husband's lap." It's a double negative, so I think it's saying like
she did fart.
She did fart. Like women, I think ultimately this joke is
because you couldn't take your appendix out in 1900 BC. That bitch is lucky. She could end up dead.
Fart. Yeah. So women be farting is the moral of that story. And
women do be farting.
Crazy to me though, by the way, that they just decided somewhere along the way, hey, we could take this out and you can keep living with regards to the appendix.
Yeah.
How do they even figure that out?
What does it do? I don't know.
Well, we just had a whole story that talked about what it does.
All right, let's move on to round 4.
Okay, round number 4. I saw a TikTok over the weekend of a ship, like a military ship, half sunk in a harbor. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell is this? It was the USS The Sullivans in Buffalo. John Branning spent, and this comes to us from military.com, John Branning spent 16 years helping to maintain the USS The Sullivans, painstakingly patching holes in the hull underwater every summer, as well as taking care of the other ships at the Buffalo and Erie County Naval and Military Park. He retired as superintendent of the ships in September, and when he saw photos of the destroyer listing heavily, that's a case of everything goes to shit the moment you retire or quit or move somewhere else. Like he took care of this thing for 20 years, and then he looks, and there it is listing heavily starboard Wednesday night. He said he was heartbroken. It's a tragedy, said Branning, a retired senior chief petty officer who spent 22 years in the Navy. Diesel pumps worked throughout Thursday night and reached a point of equilibrium in that they are pumping out as much water as leaking into the vessel. They think the ship has more than 3 million gallons of water inside. On Friday, crews from an industrial diving company attempted to get to areas of the ship. Fuck that. There is no way you're putting me inside a sinking listing ship and being like, dig around a little bit in there. See,
but if you were a scuba diver, I feel like that would be so much fun. Like I thought about that with the big Russian ship just went down this week. In like 10 years, when you could do a tour and go see what actually happened, the damage at the bottom of the Black Sea, that would be incredible.
Once it's fully sank, this one, they said they're cautious because they don't want divers to get trapped. Then the weather got bad, so they had to stop. And then there's diesel oil leaking into the harbor. And so they had to put those little circles out when there's an oil spill to keep it from going everywhere.
And that'll happen for decades because that's what's happening with the USS Arizona. There's still like fluid and fuel that comes out of the Arizona and Pearl Harbor.
Yep. And the winds could shift the water up to 6 feet there up in Buffalo. It gets crazy windy. So pretty much the ship is fucked, it sounds like. Once all the water is out, there will need to be some salvaging work done as artifacts on the ship have been destroyed. But the damage to the hull is no surprise. This is what I thought was interesting. All of the vessels at the naval park have leaks, And this is a Branning. He's a certified diver. He plugged about 20 holes in the Sullivans each year. They range from about 1/4 inch to 3 inches across because the hulls of these ships are like paper thin. World War II destroyers like the Sullivans did not have thick hulls to repel shelling. A lot of these boats were built like crazy. I thought all of them were like super up armored and it would take a lot to sink them.
Same.
Their protection was speed and maneuverability. So there's very few of them left now because they were built so thinly and so finely so that they could maneuver, that a lot of them, I mean, seawater just fucks shit up. And they talked about there's like 3 feet of mussels living on these ships in a lot of places that just eat right through it. And that you could pretty much punch. If you like dove down and punched hard enough, you could like punch holes in these big ass Navy ships, which is crazy. I would
love to do that. That would be fun.
Punch hole. The problems with the ship's hull prompted fundraising efforts last year that collected more than $1 million. Work to repair the hull went on for a couple months, but it was halted due to water temperatures. So imagine you donated a ton of money and now you're like scrolling TikTok and you're like, wait a minute, there's that ship that sunk. The epoxy can't be used in water cooler than 54 degrees. That's a problem if your ship's in Buffalo as well. Mm-hmm. So maybe something I should have thought about. I thought this was interesting because this is kind of an article from a couple years ago, but there's an effort by the Navy to grow the fleet up to 355 ships to extend the lives of the non-nuclear surface ships in the fleet, which means that some active duty ships could be over 53 years old. Do you want to be on a 53-year-old ship out in the middle of the ocean?
I mean, some of those ships like the USS Enterprise, like the ones that are really old, I feel like they're built really well. Like, so I think that they've been around for a bit, but I understand what you're saying. But this one, the Russian ship was 40 years old that just went down. I don't think that that's crazy, like for the aircraft carrier group, I guess. But maybe so. I don't know a lot about ships.
But yeah, I guess when you think about it, I can't imagine the technology to the actual, and I've never built a ship, but the technology to building ships and their capabilities hasn't changed. I know it's gotten better over the years, but it hasn't changed drastically to where if you built an aircraft carrier today, it's going to differ that much from an aircraft carrier built 30 years ago.
I think it's because we're getting older too. I think when like you have people, you're like, oh, it was 40, 50 years ago. And in our brains, I think still to us, because like we were born in the 80s, you're like, oh, geez, that's like the 1950s. Well, that's like they did it in the late 70s whenever they were building these.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all these old ships and everything, like obviously the Sullivans wasn't going to be used again, but I thought about Philadelphia and they call it the mothball fleet. But when you go over one of the bridges in Philly and you look down to the right, you see this massive shipyard. And it's like, I think it's over like, it's hundreds and hundreds of acres, but there's probably 40 big ass Navy ships just docked there that are old as shit. It has to cost way more to maintain. Like, I know it's history, but what are we keeping them for? That's so expensive.
I think it's because it's like people that serve on these ships view them so special, like because it's like they're floating cities to them and they spent so much time on them. So I think it is a little bit of a respect thing for keeping them around too. And maybe parts, I don't know, but you ask Navy people about their ship and a lot of them will like glow about it. Like they view it kind of like how we do when I think about Fallujah, like whenever Fallujah fell again, I think it would be the same type of thing for them if that ship was gone forever.
Well, people with a ship in San Diego, people were messaging us being like, I actually feel really heartbroken about
the
this.
Bonamar
I'm so
Richard.
Sad. Yeah, the Bonamar Richard. But so the average cost to keep just a regular amphibious ship going is $270 million per ship per year.
That's crazy.
And we have about 30 amphibious ships right now. So that's $270 million per year. So I imagine that just keeping these afloat, like looking at what happened to the one in Buffalo, which isn't even saltwater, right? Or I guess it is. I don't know. I don't know what our oceans look like.
Yeah, I think maybe brackish.
That'd be freshwater.
But
I don't know.
I would imagine the cost per each of those ships. I tried to look it up. I tried to see, has to be crazy. And I was thinking, oh, it's the mothball fleet. So they can, if we needed it, if shit hit the fan, could or would they use these old ships? I don't know. If you're
I would imagine have to get really bad to start pulling them things out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. And also then too, I want to touch on the Russian ship. For task and purpose, they have all these people being like, it's a black flag. That ship didn't really go down. It's a different ship, blah, blah, blah. No, that ship went down big time. And
it was scary because there was lots of reports that were floating around that they had nuclear weapons. The DoD has since said, no, we've been tracking all the different nuclear movements, and as there hasn't been any nuclear weapons that were loaded on that ship, because that would have been awful, man. Like having nuclear weapons at the bottom of the sea, that can't be good.
But they said part of the reason it sank so quickly is its age, right? Like it just was old.
I think
rickety.
where it got hit too, like it hit like perfectly. One of the rounds, from what I read, went into their actual like ammunition storage where they keep like their artillery shells and shit like that. And so once it went in there, it started to cook off things, and then it cooked off the ammo room.
Damn. I was reading something else that was talking about I was reading about it on Reddit, and somebody talked about these hits that we did on the Japanese fleet where we fucked them up super bad during World War II. And a big part of it was because they didn't keep their ammo. They would be in such a rush during battle that there would be huge chunks of ammo stores like up on the main decks. And as soon as those got hit, the ships were like powder kegs, just fucking them up left and right.
And you saw some of that in pictures that were released on like Reddit of what people were saying inside the hull of the ship, where there's different artillery rounds that were just scattered about loosely.
And you said it looked like an amnesty box in there.
Yeah, like the whole ship was an amnesty box. Yeah.
Yeah. Just
and you would think like, oh, why wouldn't you just correct that and do it the right way so you're not setting your
because they don't have NCOs.
They don't have NCOs.
They don't have NCOs, and they just don't care.
It was just kind of crazy to see this big Navy ship sunk in this bay in Buffalo. It was just kind of a crazy image. So look that up, I guess, if you want to feel bummed out. Happy Tuesday, everyone.
All right, let's move on to Save Rounds and Alibis, which is presented by our good friends at Rocky Boots. Rocky builds boots for the men and women that serve to protect the country. They're designed and built in the U.S. for each individual branch of the military. They have all kinds of stuff, whether you're doing hiking, like Kate out in the, if they probably have driving shoes at now. They have basically everything. Rocky Boots website. I think when we first started with Rocky Boots, they had like 5 or 6 different versions. Now they got page after page after page after page of boots, and just an amazing amount of stuff. And they're still giving 25% off, which is bananas. Go to rockyboots.com, enter the promo code ZBT at checkout to receive 25% off your next pair of boots. No matter what kind of boots or hiking boots you need, they got you covered at Rocky Boots. Go to rockyboots.com and the promo code ZBT for 25% off. Let's move on to Save Rounds and Alibis. Nick, we'll start with you.
Yeah, it's just a small fact about me for Save Round. I actually had my appendix taken out. Appendix doc. Yeah.
Wow.
2nd grade had my appendix taken out. Yeah.
You were,
were you like the cool guy in school when you came back to class? Like, oh, had my appendix out.
I mean, I don't know if I was the cool guy.
No, that makes
I
cool.
bet you're a cool.
I mean, I felt pretty close. Like
if you have a
grade,
cast, if you have a cast,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like back then,
scar.
Like,
if you have a scar, a cast, you're cool as hell.
Yeah, but I was
holding
just
in your farts then.
Yeah, true. I mean, it was just a little scar on my stomach though, so it wasn't like it was like a, a badge of honor, really.
Let's see it.
I'm off camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair.
All right, Cons, what do you got?
Something that I think will interest listeners of our age. There's a documentary coming out on Netflix today as you're listening, tomorrow if you're watching us on YouTube, on Netflix, about the rise of Abercrombie and Fitch and all the problems that they were having. Found that out today. Intrigued to watch that. And then secondly, you guys saw the video with President Biden looking kind of lost.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you what, like, take politics out of it, right, left, whatever. I just feel bad for the guy because he's, getting up there in age. And like, I think there are times when we're talking on this show and I'll kind of lose my train of thought. And it's like, oh, whatever. It's no big deal. It's just a podcast. And that's not crazy. And then I think this guy has to be in front of the entire world basically at all times. And everybody's kind of watching his demise. And I just think I feel some sympathy for him because I think the right uses it as ammunition to take shots at him.
At the same time, that party, what do we do? He's 79 years old. I'm not shitting on
you're
old
right.
people, but like,
right. They maybe should have not elected him in the first place.
You can't find somebody who's a little fresher.
And it's not like Trump is at the height of his fucking mental capabilities either.
No,
like that's to me, it's like, oh, you elected the guy with dementia. Yeah, 2 times in a row we did. Like we got 2 old folks in a row. Like that. Just find somebody young that can speak. It would be amazing to have somebody back in the White House that was a good orator. That would be phenomenal.
Yep. Somebody
Yeah,
young.
it's just, I don't know.
You know what?
We gotta do better.
You should have to be able to do a cartwheel. A good
Biden
one.
legitimately looks brain dead. Like when he's
Yeah.
walking around when he doesn't know where he's at and he goes in, they give him a vitamin B shot and he's good. Like the first 20 minutes of the State of the Union, he was fine. But then once they get past that, it's like how, like this dude. And it's the same thing when Trump starts talking. It's just word salad that doesn't mean anything. Like go in anytime that he's spoken for longer than 30 seconds, either one of them, 30 seconds, more than 30 seconds to 60 seconds in the last 5 years, neither one are coherent at all.
Yeah. But I think even worse than that, he's turning around looking to shake someone's hand and there's clearly no one on stage.
Yeah.
And when you're president, it's
go.
difficult to be in a spot where there's nobody to shake your hand. Difficult.
Right.
Yeah.
There's usually someone there who's
There's like
who's willing to
50
give you a
people. You
handshake.
put your hands out or knucks up, you're going to be knucking all over the place. Like you just
Right.
hit the free throw to win the NBA championship.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that was
I don't know.
painful.
That was not a good look to see that from him. So I don't know. I think hopefully he doesn't run again, but I don't know.
2024 is going to be an absolute shit show if it's
Shit
Biden
show.
versus
Ugh.
Trump again.
Oh
my
my
God.
God.
Just shut it down. If that's the case, if both parties nominate Trump and Biden again, just unplug America and just blow in us and put us back in. Like we just
Seriously.
need a complete restart.
Seriously, like and legit take all the politics out of it. It's just their age. Neither of them, I think, is fit at this age to lead the country.
Neither.
So that's
Not
all I
even
got.
close. Kate, what do you got?
Saved rounds. So on Friday, I posted on the Zero Blog 30 Instagram a video from TikTok of a bunch of guys from the 82nd Airborne. They're all wearing their packs or whatever. Looks like they're waiting to board up and jump. I'm sure they call it something else, whatever. They're all sitting in the dirt and they all start singing a cappella, My Girl. And they sound fucking amazing.
Parts, everything. Like it was like 5-octave harmony.
Anyway, you know the drill. They sounded amazing. So I'm like, wow, how crazy is it? They must have been waiting for so long, hurry up and wait, that they had time to harmonize and figure it all out. So somebody commented on it. Well, it's impressive, sure, but that's like the actual 82nd Airborne like show choir. Like that's what they do. And
that's what it is?
I thought he was joking. So I Googled it. No, the 82nd Airborne Division All-American Band and Chorus.
Oh, well, this ruined the video. The video's ruined now. I wish you wouldn't have said that. Like, because I thought this is just some random fucking sergeants and corporals and shit out here singing beautifully. And now it's some show choir. This is propaganda on ZBT, and I won't stand for it.
But they actually are jump certified wherever they can actually still get deployed and go into battle. They're not some separate little group that just like la la la. It's more like they still have to do all the regular shit, but then they also do this on the side.
Okay,
they provide music to the local area, telling the Army story in support of soldiers and their family, blah blah blah. So like it's like if you're in like the gifted program, you get called out of class every now and then to build paper airplanes or something. It's like they still have to do all the regular shit, but they get called out to whatever. Anyway. Also, update on this went super viral over the weekend. Paralympian in San Antonio, chaps. Did you see this?
I did. The rim is across the street from my house. Like I could walk there in 2 minutes. Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, of course, of all the stuff, I didn't write his name down. So of this tweet, I'll have to look it up again. I should have photocopied the tweet, whatever. Anyways, there is a Paralympian in San Antonio who got his medal stolen. And this was the tweet. Around 7:15 p.m. at the rim in San Antonio, my car was broken into, and this guy took the bag containing all 3 of my Paralympic gold medals. Still nothing yet, but the cops are working on it. And the video got shared 30,000 times with 40,000 likes and has 2.7 million views. You can see this guy's face clear as day.
You know why?
Why?
That's a feature of the Tesla. Like the Tesla has a recording process, and this guy had a Tesla.
Really?
Whenever he tried to break it, the Tesla security system comes in and it's got 4K cameras. That's the reason why they were able to.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's the reason why they were able to find him, because the
Tesla. Video was
and that
clear
that video
day.
It went to the guy's phone. Like it emails it to the phone so they know like right when it happens.
Holy shit! So yeah, he's absolutely gonna get caught.
He did get caught.
Without a doubt. Oh,
he already did. Yeah.
I just looked it up right before the show.
He got caught. No, he's been caught for a while. He got caught like an hour and a half after it was on the news here.
I swear to God, I looked up the story, and that's my update. Is like still nothing yet, but the cops are working on it. I looked at the guy's latest tweet, and he's like,
they had not
nothing.
found his medals, but they found the person who did it.
Oh, okay. You have to be a real piece of shit to do something like that.
Oh, that's definitely one where whenever you go back and look inside the bag you just stole, you're like, son of a bitch.
Here, Olympic medals.
Because if it's like
whatever.
normal jewelry, I don't think people in general are like, oh, we don't really give a fuck about somebody else's jewelry. But an Olympic medal or a Paralympic medal, people are like, you motherfucker. Those are irreplaceable. So now they're pissed.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I had somebody steal one of my sergeants. He went to Vegas and somebody broke into my sergeant, Purple Heart. He got blown up. He needed hearing aids. Somebody stole his hearing aids. It's like, what the fuck
That's
is
terrible.
wrong with people? What the fuck?
What are you doing with hearing aids? You selling those on the black market for like,
I don't know,
$12?
Mm-hmm.
But it took him like a week to get new ones. So all week we're like, oh, fuck you, Sergeant. It was a delight. But I saw that video reminded me. I saw another video from the weekend. Package stealing is a huge problem. When I lived in the city,
Porsche Pirates.
I almost expected like half the shit I ordered. I just knew I wasn't going to get it. I just knew somebody could come right into our lobby and take it, whatever. There's these people now who are you can order these boxes that they're like glitter bombs that smell like farts.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a camera inside. And so when the people open them, there's this video. It starts with the Ring camera watching the guy steal the package from their front porch. And they're like, excellent. Watch what happens next. This guy steals the package. The package is sitting. They start to open it up. It's a woman ripping a bong on a bed. She's like, ooh, let's see what's in it. He opens it up. Glitter and farts explode everywhere. And you can see like the video cameras showing it all that's inside this box. And then the box starts going 10, 9, 8.
Oh,
that would
shit.
freak me
7.
out.
They both stop what they're doing because they laughed at first. And then they're like, oh, it smells like a fart. When it started counting down, the panic on their faces, and they like ran to the front. They ran the box. They're like, it's going to blow. They truly believe. I just felt so good to watch that.
I
Fuck
wonder
those
if
people.
somebody, like we talked about in a previous round, somebody would sue for that. I bet you could sue for that.
I bet you could.
Like this,
You're right.
I mean, there was the guy that fell through the ceiling when he was trying to break into somebody's house and won the suit, like because it was unsafe being on the roof. Like he won the suit.
Yes, there's a couple of cases like that. It's crazy. And you're right. I could see that happening. And then finally, my final little nugget. I saw the U.S. military. This comes from Lucas Tomlinson, Fox News correspondent, said U.S. military will soon begin training Ukrainian forces outside of the country on howitzers and 40,000 rounds. What's that, Cons? Sorry.
What do you mean 40,000 rounds?
On howitzers and 40,000
howitzers
rounds.
like one of our, it's the type of artillery. Depends on the size of the howitzer.
So we're finding a loophole. We're not going into it, but we're bringing them out of Ukraine, training them and sending them back in. This is just like a proxy
and I think
war
that's
again.
actually, I don't know why he's reporting that as new. They started doing that while they were in that column, like the tactical columns in Russia. They brought over a bunch of people from Ukraine. They recently, in the last 3 weeks, sent them back. And so now you're seeing more precision artillery strikes because they are using our technology with our training. And they went back like 2 or 3 weeks ago and have been placed. And people are saying, I've read in some NAT security circles, that that's the reason why they were able to sink that ship, because they knew exactly how to target it and walk it in where it needed to go.
Oh shit. That has to be cool to watch as a teacher. Like,
oh yeah.
Did good.
I mean,
yeah.
I know you say that joking, but like when I worked at the dog school, and we would get word back occasionally about this dog handler found like a hidden cache, or found a buried cache, or found an IED, and they would send pictures back. We used to have like damn near parties at the dog school, be like, fuck. And we'd show the students like, this is what you're training to do. This is a real life application. And sometimes we would even get like GoPro cam and be like, look, is what happens here. You see his training here, what we taught him here. And now he's doing this there. And we would go into it that way. And the students really, it made you really buckle down. Like
what we're doing matters. It really matters.
Shit,
yeah.
Makes you really proud, especially too, because firing artillery is a lot more than just pulling a cord and maybe aiming in the general direction. There's a lot to it. So to see someone be able to do it successfully like that, super. To
take down a full out fucking battleship with an artillery strike is a big deal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very big deal.
I would love
with only
to pull
2
those cords
as well. They only use 2 rounds. Like whenever they're firing, two rounds, 2 hits, one ship sank.
Wow. Well, that was very precise then. Unbelievable.
I know. Cool shit. Well, those are can you believe I had several safe rounds today? Normally I don't know. And I had a lot on my mind.
I have nothing on my mind. Southern Retreat. We'll see you on Friday.